In part one, we went over a couple of these types. We talked about what bank accounts are, we talked about fixed assets or other current assets, which are more liquid. We talked about accounts payable. I want to talk now about the liability accounts that you see right here. There are two types of liability accounts that you're going to find. One is what we call other current liabilities, and then the other one is called long-term liabilities. A long-term liability is something you're going to pay off in more than 12 or 13 months, maybe a 5-year car note. Whereas a short-term liability is something you're going to pay off fairly quickly. You'll see in this case, because I told it that we do payroll and we collect sales tax, QuickBooks set these two up for us automatically, and they're other current liabilities. Both of these would be monies that I would collect from employees if it's payroll, or sales tax. I would collect that from customers, and I have to forward those fairly quickly to the appropriate entity. Let's go ahead and set up a long-term liability. We'll set up a card note just to show you how this works. I'm going to right-click and choose New. Something to note is if you choose Loan right here, QuickBooks assumes it's a short-term or other current loan. If you know it's a long-term, you'll need to come down here and click the arrow and choose Long-Term Liability. Then click Continue, and we can set up the information on this account. I'm going to plug in a general ledger number, and I'm going to name my account. I'm going to say My Bank Car Payment. You can name this anything you want. If you want to put your actual bank name there, you can. If you want to put the name of the car, you can. Whatever you want to call this, you're certainly welcome to do that. This is not a sub-account. I'm not going to fill in these two things, but I do need the opening balance. As of the start date of your QuickBooks company file, how much did you owe for this vehicle? You'll want to get that number from your bank, and if you don't know what it is to start with, just go ahead and put a penny in here and change it later. I'm going to say it was $12,569.87, and I will put in the start of my QuickBooks file date and click OK. Now I'm going to save and close, and you're going to see you have a car payment set up now. It is a long-term liability, and you can see the balance that you owe on the payment over here. And I want to point out something at this point that I see very often. If you have a car payment, it is not an expense to your business. It's considered a long-term liability. What you want to happen is when you create that transaction where you made that car payment, you want it to deduct from this account so that it has the correct ending balance. That means that you're going to choose this account where you're making the car payment, not some account down here where the expenses are. The next type I want to talk about are credit cards, and you see that we don't have any here yet. If you have credit cards that you use to purchase items for the business, you'll want to set each one up separately. I'm going to go ahead and right click and choose New again. I'll choose credit card this time and continue. I'm going to give my account a name. I'll just say it was an Amex card. I do need the opening balance as of the start date of the company file. If you pay it off every month, it's going to be $0. But let's say that this one had a balance of $2,987.62. And of course, the start date of my company file or the ending of the previous month. I'm going to click OK and save and close. What you'll notice now is you have an Amex card back here, and there's the balance on the credit card. Just like with the loans we talked about, when you make a payment to the credit card, this is the account you want to choose right here. You don't want to go through and choose different expense accounts that you use to purchase items on the credit card, because you're going to see later when we talk about credit cards how that works. Always, 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 if you're making a payment to the credit card, you choose this account that you just set up. Now you'll notice that I didn't put a general ledger number in here because I wanted to go back and show you how to edit any account. I'm just going to right click and choose Edit and make sure you're on the account you want to edit. And now I'll go ahead and add my general ledger number and save and close. And now you can see it lines up with the rest of them right here. The next type I want to talk about are your equity accounts. Think about the word equity means equal. It's already your money, you're just shifting it from one place to another. Remember that money flows into this opening balance equity automatically when you open any account in QuickBooks and you tell it what the opening balance is. The other one I want to mention is when the owner of a company transfers money into or out of the business account. That's called equity. It's equal. The company didn't make a sale and it's not taxable money. It just means money was shifted into it. Typically, I'll see it set up like this. I'm going to click on New. And let's choose Equity this time and continue. This time, I want to call this one Owner. And we're not going to put in a balance right now. Just want to show you this. Right here, you've got Owner. You can see it's an equity account. But what I want to do is create 2 sub-accounts below it so you can use this when you're transferring money into the business or out of the business. You'll see again that I don't have a general ledger number. I'm going to go ahead and right click and add one. I'll just edit that account. And you can see now it has a general ledger number. I'm going to add a new account, and this one is going to be when I transfer money into the business. That's called an owner contribution. Notice it's going to be an equity account, and I'm going to click continue. For the account name, I'm going to call this one Contributions. And this is where sub-accounts come in. This is a sub-account of Owner. The main account and the sub-account have to have the same type. Now this time I'm going to save a new to save me going back to that list of the chart of accounts. I'm going to save a new and set up the second one. Whenever you take money out of the business, it's considered a draw. This will be a sub-account of Owner again. And I'll go ahead and save and close to show you what this looks like. You'll notice these 2 accounts look like they're indented underneath Owner. That's a sub-account of Owner. Whenever you have sub-accounts and you're working in QuickBooks, always want to pick one of the sub-accounts, not the main account. If you pick the main account, what will happen is you will see reports that say Other. Let's go ahead and stop the video here. We want to move over into part 3 of the chart of accounts, and then we'll finish setting up this list.